children naturally want to have the best relationship possible with you.
But there was another thing that I saw, interesting enough, Patrick Bet-David, Valuetainment, he actually did a study which he said, look, who's the happiest? Who's the happiest? And he did a study, and it was a proper study. Are you going to be happier with kids? Should you have kids? Shouldn't you have kids? There was an argument. And it was putting out the fact that women that are married with kids are happier than women that don't have kids. And the older they get, women as they get older are less happier, and women that have kids as they get older are like 3 times as happy as the women that don't have kids. And I found that very, very interesting. I think it's worth linking and going into that because he presents a really good argument. And then his argument was like he's just like, kids are so hard, but anything that comes good is hard. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man. That's the most valuable investment I think you'll ever make in life because of the energy source they bring. Like a Louis Vuitton bag isn't going to be cuddling the 60-year-old power boss lady at night when she's old, right?
Your Rolex isn't going to mean shit to you, bro. My watches aren't going to mean shit to me.
Yeah. I saw a video actually on that note. Sorry, just to expand on that, Jordan Peterson. And he said, and this is true, and it's nothing against my wife or against Kerry with you, but he said children naturally want to have the best relationship possible with you. And he's like, that's an opportunity, man, that you will not get from anyone else at any other time, because obviously there's a window because children become adults and they grow up. And I watched that video a few times. I'll send you after this, man. And I showed Corinne, and we both actually got quite emotional last night because we've just come back from spending so much time with them. We're like, you know what, man? Nothing, of course, money's important. Other things are important, but nothing else fucking matters as much as family. And your children are the ones on this world. Not that Corinne doesn't love me. We've got an amazing relationship, but children who are your own blood, looking into your eyes, want to have the best bonding connection with you possible. And that's an opportunity, man, that you can't waste, Lynn. And I feel like our house is so much fuller. Even when Roman was surprised because he was an IVF, going from 2 to 3, we felt so much more fuller. So I definitely know what you mean about having more kids too.
It's just better, right? You can't imagine life without Roman. I'm still going to go back to that as well because I think, like, the video that you sent me, which is like, kids are the most important thing. I absolutely agree that they're super important, but I actually think like you got to have all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's like a pie that if you don't have a piece, it's not incomplete. So you might have kids, but you don't have your health, right? You don't have your health. So health is, we can fundamentally say, without our health, we can't do anything. Also, too, if you don't have money, I'm going to ruffle a few feathers with this, but if you don't have money, then you don't have a foundation to live in this materialistic world like that we call society. And society is actually driven by money. Like, the core thing that keeps society running is money. And so if you don't have that, it's kind of like you're not having air. You're not having air to breathe in. You don't have money. You don't have choices. You don't have options. You can't do anything. Your life you can only get so far inside of your life in the world if you choose to play in the world. That is, if you live in a civilized country that chooses to communicate. How we actually communicate with each other through money. We transact every day with money. Okay, your bills, the meat, the groceries that you're buying, we're constantly transacting with this thing called money. So that's really important. If you live in uncivilized situations, like if you're in the Amazon and you're a tribe and you have a different way to share shit, then the money is not important. It's actually like figuring out how to share stuff. But money is actually important as well. I look at this both ways. If I'm a billionaire but I don't have kids, I'm not fulfilled. But at the same time, if I do have kids, but I haven't actually successfully produced, knowing that these kids are going to be okay in the next, whether or not I give them the money or the skills or both, to take on the next generation, I also don't feel fulfilled too. Like, there's a part of me that's like, I'm going to die, and my responsibility was to keep you guys safe and to continue. Okay, I suppose, what's the existence of life? It's to reproduce. Okay, to go through this life, to have kids, and when you have kids, you realize what's the point of life. And the point of life is to have kids and to keep it going. The point of life is to keep life going. I genuinely think that's the point. So when we keep life going, what we're trying to do is, if it disappears on my watch, then I have to figure out how to keep it going. We have to breed. We have to keep it going. That's the point. The lion wants to be the strongest, so he can make babies with the lioness to keep his DNA going, right? Like that's his point.